Welcome back to another episode of Love It There.
This week is a little bit of a different episode. It's our first episode with guests, so we're really excited to share it. And it happens to also be about a place that holds a really special place in my heart, Bloomington, Indiana, which is where I go to college. It's where Indiana University is. So for this episode, I had the privilege of recording with my roommates and also some of my closest friends that go to school here. We're going to cover a wide range of topics with my roommates. We talk about our freshman year during COVID, life as an athlete because they are all on the cross country and track team here, as well as just like fun memories we've had living together and what we're going to miss most about being roommates at college. And then with some of my friends, we talked about life in Greek life because they were all in sororities, as well as what the Kelley School of Business is like, because that's a pretty big spot on campus as well, a major draw for like students to come to school here. So I think we did a pretty good job of covering all the bases, and hopefully we didn't leave any questions unanswered. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good and entertaining episode.
All right, so there's a lot to get into, so we'll get right into it. Enjoy today's episode on Bloomington, Indiana.
Guys, this is a very special episode of Love It There because I'm joined with my roommates. This is so exciting. Okay, I'm going to let everybody go around and introduce themselves real quick.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a senior, and my major is exercise science. Oh, fun fact about myself, I have a cat named Luna. I have one already.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I guess I'm supposed to say my major and my age. I'm currently 22 years old, majoring in sports marketing and management, and I wasn't prepared with a fun fact. I also have a cat whose name is Bagel.
I'm Phoebe. I'm a dietetics major. I'm also a senior. Fun fact, I've actually known Halle since the 6th grade. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mariah. I'm a senior, also going to be a senior next year. Really excited, round 2. I'm 22. I'm studying exercise science. Fun fact about me, I am a mean player on the keys.
Like that.
Okay, and this is Halle, also a senior, human bio major. And fun fact about me is, I did run a marathon. I did talk about that already, but that will be my fun fact because I can't think of anything else. Basically, we're doing this episode today on Bloomington because graduation is right around the corner, and I kind of wanted to take a moment and like reminisce on the past 4 years and just like funny memories, favorite spots around campus and around Bloomington, and just like a synopsis of our entire college experience. So that's kind of what this episode is going to be. I think we should start just like with freshman year and the fact that it was COVID and just like how much of a chaotic year that was. Let's start with dorm life. What were your guys' dorm experiences at IU? Phoebe, you had a good reaction. I'll let you start.
Yeah, so freshman year, actually lived in a good dorm. Briscoe, lived in a good dorm, like own bathroom, super nice, but like literally you were confined to your room. Like there was nothing going on, nobody was doing anything, like you really couldn't leave. It was honestly like jail is the best way I could describe it.
I think we're supposed to mention the food. I actually really liked the dorm food. They had this, what was it? It was Gresham? Was it called Gresham? I would get sushi from Gresham like 3 days a week. And this bitch would get crab rangoon. And then also you could order it and just like go grab it right away. Honestly, that was probably the highlight of my freshman year.
Yeah, because during COVID, the whole food situation was like so screwed up because you had to order it ahead of time. Like there was no like all you can eat buffet where you like go in and get it hot and like serve yourself. Like no, you had to order everything through Grubhub and then like only arrive at the dining hall when it was ready, and then you had to pick it up and immediately go back and eat it in your dorm. So then your dorm room smelled horrible because you were eating like 4 meals a day in there and like snacks and like whatever. And then also, like, how are you supposed to socialize with anyone? Like, you actually were in jail, locked up in your room. Like, you couldn't eat in the dining hall. You couldn't like even leave your door open. Like, I literally got in trouble for like having my door open one day, and I was like, I'm literally just trying to make friends.
Not in the dorms, but in the college mall. It's a beautiful place in Bloomington. We have a Dunkin', and whenever I was feeling sad, which was most days freshman year, you guys get it, major depression going on, but whenever I was sad, I'd go to Dunkin', and I would get 20 donut holes, and then I would come back in my car, in my Kia 20, and I would eat them in my car while I cried. Those were delicious, and yeah, I think about it a lot.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to say about what was there like any like funny dorm experience specifically, like crazy like people in your hall or anything, or was it like pretty chill? Well, because for reference, like they were all in the athlete dorm because they're all on the track and cross country team, and so whereas like everybody in your hall also athletes, I'm assuming, or was it like a mix? No. Yeah. Okay.
I still see Duncan to this day. Like, I see him, or I made friends with him my freshman year. Do you remember, Mariah, when he came into my room and like asked if he could sleep there because he was like, I lost my Crimson card. I was like, okay, and he was like, I need to sleep here, and I was like, okay, I guess. Like, what? Woke up, he's gone. I literally see him, like, literally saw him on Saturday, and I was like, hey, Sammy, and he was like, hey. I was like, hope you're doing well. Like, every time we see each other, we say hello to each other. It's a friend for life.
I feel like my dorm was like really lame. I was in Foster, in like this random side building. It wasn't even like the main building. And it was just like, oh my God, we actually had bats like multiple times. There would be bats like flying in the hallway, and it would always end up on Barstool. Like freshman year, there were like 5 times where our hallway was on Barstool because we always had random bats flying in our hallway. I don't know why. It was like just our building that for some reason attracted them. And then also our water in our bathroom was always like multiple times, because I had communal bathrooms, and there were so many times that we would turn on the sink in the bathroom and like the water would just be brown. Yeah, I have a video of it. It was so bad. So overall, really happy to not be in the dorms anymore. I was so excited to leave. I think the dining hall food is definitely better now, like after COVID, but our experience was just like a little special, I think. Okay, let's talk about, since you guys you all are athletes. Well, Lauren's not anymore, but Lauren was. Just had to, NARP. What was like your experience coming in as like a D1 athlete at a Big Ten school for the first time? Was like it what you expected, or what was like the experience? I want honest answers here.
I can say this because I'm no longer on the team anymore, but it was not what I was expecting, especially because it was COVID. It was very different than it is now for incoming freshmen, but our season got canceled freshman year, so we were like, well, what are we even doing now? But it was not very fun, especially because we were on a team, we couldn't be getting COVID, and so that's also why we had to be so strict about staying in our rooms and not socializing at all.
But let me just say, everyone got COVID anyway. Did not work out well for us at all. But I mean, I would say that like coming in, it was a little bit of a hard adjustment because of COVID. Like, it was just, we had such strict rules, and like I had a lot of friends who came to IU who weren't athletes, and like they weren't under any of the same rules that like we were under at the time. And you were an athlete too at the time.
Yeah.
So like we all had those rules, and like it wasn't fun not being able to go see anyone or like really do anything your freshman year when you're supposed to have all this freedom. But like I'd say now it's like so much better than it was. I mean, I feel like we all have like balanced it out, and it's like I'm obviously super happy that I am an athlete, but like freshman year, like it was pretty tough, like getting through that year. Well, can you also think about like how much easier it would have been if we were in an apartment during COVID,
right,
rather than being in the dorms? Like that was the worst possible situation we could have been in, I think. I mean, the temptation, I got written up 3 different times for being in like different people's rooms.
No, me too. That's what happened to me. I got written up too because I had like too many people. I had more than 3 people in my room, and our door was like open too far, and our RA walked by and she was like, COVID strike, you have more than 3 people in your room. I was like, it was my first day too. My first day. And I was like, I'm just trying to make friends.
Yeah. Dude, and one time, I already had 3 strikes. And, like, if you got more than that, you were in, like, serious shit. And I was in Forest, I remember. And there was a knock at the door. There were, like, 6 of us.
You're like, oh my God, I gotta go.
And I was like, guys,
I'm on probation.
I'm literally gonna get, like, kicked out of school if I get caught. And I hid under someone's bed. And then freaking RA came in. And I was like hiding under the bed, and I was so tweaked, but they didn't see me, so
That's
they didn't get kicked
hilarious.
out, but that did happen.
No, yeah, I heard like stories of people our freshman year that like had to go like meet with like the dean of something because they like got too many strikes, and it was like a serious deal. So yeah, that's what we had to live with our freshman year, but it's better now, so it's fine. So obviously we didn't all live together freshman year, and we also lived different places sophomore year. Well, Lauren, Mariah, and Phoebe lived together sophomore year, but the 5 of us started living together junior year. And basically we earned a name for our house, and I'll let Maddie tell this story of how we acquired this name.
So my current boyfriend at the time, he was all close friends with all of us, like junior year, yeah. And so he would come over a lot, and like,
But they weren't dating.
we weren't dating. Like, we were all just like super close friends at the time. And so he would like, for some reason, he would always end up sleeping on our couch.
Well, our house was like closer to the bars, so I think he would just like,
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, I think we were his only that were here.
Probably.
It was over the summer.
oh right.
So basically, like, his mom at the time didn't know any of us, and she just saw him like sleeping at this house
Because she had his location.
Yeah, he has what is it called? Life 360, yeah. And so you can name locations like on Life 360.
He was showing us all the different names of like of people's places, and we see the name, and we're like, what? That's our house.
We're like, why the hell did you name us Whorehouse? And he was like, dude, my mom named it that. And we were like, what the hell? Like, your mom thinks we're whores? And then apparently, like, she would always be like, oh, why you staying over at those whores' house all the time? So at that point, we were like, I guess we just need to lean into it. And so that's our trademark now.
So now we are, unfortunately, the whorehouse.
It was nothing we were doing. It was just because it was like a house that like 5 girls lived in.
No, to be completely fair, like, it was like his mom was like, she had no clue. Like, who are these 5 girls that are like older than you, and why are you staying there? Why are you going down there like every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday? To go
Like
hang
4
out
days
with
a
them?
week. So yes, that's how we acquired the name. And now that's kind of just how we're known by our friends. It's just easier to say that now, and that's the name. That's our group chat name. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so when we moved into this house this year, I wanted to like print out a big poster to like fill up one of like the wall decor. And we got this picture this summer when we like had this party at our house in our driveway, or like in the parking lot in front of the apartment.
The parking lot party.
It is now known as
Penn
parking
State.
lot party.
Penn
Penn State, we're coming for you.
I will never forget what you did to us.
We'll talk about that later. We hope you see this. We're never gonna forget what you did. Anyways, I backtrack. We had this parking lot party, and we used like a bunch of sidewalk chalk, and we wrote like "Welcome to Whorehouse" on the parking lot in our sidewalk chalk, and we got this picture of it, which we will show if you're watching on video. And I was like, you know what our new house needs, because we moved into a new house for our senior year. They're all looking at it. I was like, we need that picture blown up poster size so everybody knows like the name of our house. So to do this, I go into like the campus library because there's a big poster printer there. And I thought I was gonna like walk in and be like super discreet about it, because obviously I like don't want, like, it's this giant picture of all of us like laying on the ground next to the sidewalk chalk of welcome to whorehouse. And so I go in to print out this picture and I like cannot get it to work. It's like not working. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally going to have to ask for help and they're going to see the picture. So I have to ask like the front desk and I'm like, hey, like I need some help like printing out a poster. So they're like, sure, like just pull up the picture and we'll do it for you. And like the picture gets blown up on like the entire computer screen. And it's like these two like college age guys that are helping me with it. And they're just like, oh, okay.
Usually people do that for like educational purposes.
Yeah, usually they're like research posters that
Yes.
people go print at the library. I'm like fully printing out like a degenerate picture of all of us. And so then they like help me print it and it gets like printed out of the poster. And like this poster is huge. It's like 3 feet by 3 feet, just blown up of us like laying on the ground. And I'm like, thanks guys. Thanks for your help. And they're like, have a good night. And they were like judging me so hard. But yeah, now we have our poster and it's over there on the wall and it's our trademark. Before we moved into this house though, we lived in a townhouse last year, which is where that parking lot party was. Iconic. We'll talk about it later. But first of all, this entire apartment was just jank. Okay. Like everything was broken.
There was no business. 5 people had no business living there.
It was way
Like,
too small for
it
5 of
was-
us.
The kitchen was like
A cubicle.
the kitchen was a cubicle.
5 people and 3 cats.
3 cats illegally were living there. Our landlord was not supposed to know. Everything is like broken all the time. It's always dirty. It's always a mess. And our front door like never closed all the way. And you can imagine how that would be problematic when you have 3 cats running around and your front door like is off. Like there would be times when we would walk home from class and our door would just be wide open like to the streets. And like everyone's like, is anyone home? And we're like all at class and our door has just been open all day. And we also live on like we lived on a busy street and it would just be open.
Also, like by an electrical plant, like mind you, like there was like wires and like it was no place for cats.
And they were always out. And our one cat, Abby, who's Mariah's cat, she was extra eager to get out. Mariah, would you like to elaborate?
So Abby, when I adopted her, I am a mother. She's about 5 now. She loves to go outside. She had children before I adopted her, so she probably saw a lot of things. Yes, she was horny. She couldn't like reproduce, but homegirl's hormones were off the charts. She wanted to reproduce. So I was talking to my uncle, shout out Uncle Tim if you're watching this. I was like, Uncle Tim, whenever Abby gets outside, she humps the motherfucking curb. And it's crazy. Like, she goes after that curb. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, she's literally in heat. Like, it was like the winter, spring. Like, she was feeling feelings like that and wanted to get with the curb. It was crazy. So whenever she left the house, she ran to the curb. And Bagel, sweet little Bagel, that's Maddie's cat, would sometimes follow. He's just this little sweetheart. And then we would find them out there.
No. He didn't understand the curb.
Well, and then, okay, speaking of Abby again, one day I went for a jog and I see like that the door is wide open from a distance. I'm like, oh no, I hope the cats aren't out. As I'm running down the sidewalk, I see Abigail just walking down the sidewalk, like going for a stroll. I was like, Abby, what are you doing out here? Like, you need to get back inside. But I was literally like down the street. And like I said, we live on a busy street and she's fully just like walking herself down the sidewalk, like probably trying to escape.
One time, me and Phoebe were just chilling in a room, like, you know, like shooting the shit. And look up.
Because Phoebe lived in the
I
basement.
lived in the basement. This happened multiple times, but the first time, yes. I look up like into like this, you know, like the little water well like window that's like in a basement room, and all I see is just Abby like staring at me from outside. And so we had to go get the cats upstairs and like go in the well, and she's like and then she goes and humps the fucking curb, and then we bring her inside, and that was that. But yeah, that happened like at least once a week, I think.
Well, and then one time our door got so broken that like the handle got jammed. And so you couldn't go in or out of our door. Like if you were outside of the house, you were locked out. If you were inside of the house, you were locked in, and like we couldn't get out. But it was like
House. That's another issue. Is there
was one way in, one way out. And it was a school day. Like, obviously we had to get to class. Well, we tell our landlord and they're like, yeah, we'll like get there as soon as we can. We're like, as soon as you can. We're locked out of our house and like we have things to do.
There's no point.
Like, we need to get in. Yeah. Lauren was inside, so she's locked in, like can't exit. So then we proceed to spend the rest of the day entering and exiting through Phoebe's basement window. That just sums up like the status of that house, because it was so bad. And that's why we moved here, and it's way better. But a tradition that we started last year at that townhouse is we had a photo wall, and we would like print out like funny pictures or like group photos of us like throughout the year and like stick them up on the wall. So like by the end of the year, it was like covering the whole wall. So we brought those photos like with us to this house. And I had each of us pick out like a few of our favorite photos from the photo wall, and we'll share. So if you're listening to this on audio, you might want to transfer over to the YouTube so you can like see what we're talking about. But Mariah, do you want to start?
I would love to. Okay, so Halle had the beautiful idea of making a Christmas card this past holiday season. I came into it with the idea that everyone was going to be ironic, and we were going to think that it was like a funny thing. Also, I just kind of awkward in front of a camera. I don't know if you can tell. So in every photo, I made this face. I'm that one. So yeah, in every single photo, and everyone's looking like, look at Halle, she's so cute. Like, everyone's looking like that. And I looked like Maddie's face. Maddie's face is killing. I think I said we needed to like hunch our like booties back so like it would look funny, and it did.
But then you didn't do that.
No, I'm pretty sure in that one we were all trying to like look stupid, because I sure hope so, because I looked dumb. But we had like cuter ones, I promise. Okay, what is your other one?
The other one is just of Lauren's birthday cake, and it's iconic. It was delicious. Because that was one of the best weekends of my life. We went to oh girl, that was so much fun. We went to Nashville. And it was just iconic.
7 girls in one hotel room, right?
I loved that. I loved every second of that.
The floor was covered with
It was.
everything you could imagine.
Yes. But we were all like, oh, you can wear this, like, I'll wear that, like, oh, like, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Like, it was just like such a great thing. It was delicious. At like 2, 3 a.m. I don't even know. It was beautiful. I think only you. Who else was up with us? I know it was like, I think it was us, and we were like singing to Lauren. Because I think people were asleep, and we were like, happy birthday. It was so funny.
Okay, Phoebe, do you want to go?
Okay, so being named to our house, you have to throw some parties, right?
Of
Obviously.
course.
So this past, what was it? It was like November. I don't know. We had a pajama party, and there was, a lot of people coming in and out.
Oh no, I know this one.
It's like 1, 2 in the morning. I open my phone. I'm like, it's time to go to bed. I open my phone to see my text messages, and I get this picture from Halle. Halle, this is so not Halle. And it's this picture. Where's everyone at?
Everyone left by then. Like, I was actually the only one standing outside, and no one is to be found.
I just saw that. I was like, how did this
I clearly had a good night, because I was ready to keep partying, and everyone else was literally in bed.
My next one is this picture. This picture of Maddie and I. It's this really cute picture. And
Oh, wow.
it's really good. This was like one of the first Tuesdays of the summer, which is kind of that's kind of our season. And
Off season.
Off season. So Maddie and I had kind of gone out that Tuesday, and like all night we were completely fine. Like, we were not like, it wasn't bad, but we get home and I'm like, I need to like throw up. Like, I need to throw up. So we were in our bathroom that was like in the kitchen, like downstairs at our old house. I throw up, like throwing up around. Maddie walks in. She's like, let me get in there. Let me get in there. We're literally tag teaming.
Oh my god.
What happened to us? And then we were flushing in between. Yeah, it was super.
I would hope
It was
so.
sanitary. And then we both sat down, ate a Domino's pizza.
Phoebe, I didn't go out that night, and Phoebe's just like, Lauren, I need you to order me Domino's. Please order me Domino's. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll do it right away.
Smashed it after that horrible experience, and we were both like, okay, good night.
Like nothing ever
like,
happened.
we were like crying, like tears, like there was like I was like puking and like, and then we took that picture and we were like, wow, like we look busted right now. It was bad. It was really bad.
Okay, Maddie.
My first picture is, like she said, we do host a lot of events here at the whorehouse. And for those, we need to be prepared, obviously. And so we just had to take a quick trip to Big Red Liquors. So this was the picture I chose.
Mariah.
This is prime what everyone needs to do. You need to fuel, and then you need to wash it down. As seen.
And I was just like sitting in the front seat, and let me just say, I also had like 3 cases of stuff in the front seat. Like we had bottles, there were bottles surrounding Mariah's like legs, like and I just turn around and I just see Mariah like devouring this sandwich, and she just looked so in her element. I look at this and it makes me smile.
Yeah. I think about that often.
Yeah.
You know, because like, what better place is there to be? I don't really know.
I became a Big Red member that day because I went in like twice and spent $100 like each time. And the guy was like, do you just want to like sign up for the rewards? And I was like, I probably should.
Yeah.
And like it's so like sad because they'll be like, are you VIP? And you'll be like, okay, so my next picture is one, it actually happened recently. I was at my first breakfast club. In my senior year, my first breakfast club all year, and it was like a month ago, I think. And so we all had to go to the bathroom, and the bathrooms at sports, or it was KOK. The bathrooms at KOK are very tiny. They're very tiny, but we were like, we can fit 3 people in there for sure. So this is the picture. So that's Phoebe, and I'm holding her up as she is peeing.
And I'm in the back taking the photo.
Yeah, Halle's capturing this moment, and I'm fucking like wheezing, laughing. I'm hammered. Phoebe is like trying to like hover over the seat because it was like, I mean, she didn't want to sit on that seat. But yeah, so this just brings back good memories from my first breakfast club. I'll never forget it.
All right, Laura.
Okay. So my first photo is a picture of the cats, Abby and Bagel. Abby's on top, obviously. Bagel's on the bottom. So Abby and Bagel loved to fight, or it was play fighting, but sometimes it would get a little aggressive, as seen here. But normally Abby would win because she was a little bigger.
She's a fighter. I taught her well.
And then the next photo is from my 21st birthday. We're on our way home from going out, and I'm like, fine. I'm fine. I had a few drinks.
It's your face. Your mouth is open.
We're on our way home, walking down the street. Phoebe tackles me to the ground, and I laid there. I was like, wow, what just happened? And then she captured actually the whole thing on video, or someone captured the whole thing on video.
I have it.
Yeah, so we got some.
Phoebe's
funny
just
pictures of
screaming.
it.
I have a few here. I'll start with. Okay, so we talked about the parking lot party that we had. It was outdoor Big Ten track meet, and we hosted at IU. And afterwards, we had a parking lot party at our house. And so, like, everyone came. Like, other schools, athletes came to our house. I was not aware that was happening, but all of a sudden, they just showed up. And the theme was anything but a cup. And so people were just like had their drinks and like random things. But everything seemed like it was going fine. Like it was just your average run of the mill party until the next morning. We discovered some interesting things in our house that were used as cups that we didn't know about. So the first thing was I go into my shower, and this is my makeup remover, my micellar water, and it is fully filled with some kind of red liquid. To this, I wasn't about to find out what it was, but it was still like in my shower. So I'm like, who was in my shower drinking? And then Penn State. Yeah. We don't like you. So that was the first thing. There's more. The second thing we discovered, also in the bathroom, a Casamigos. Yeah, and it's blue, filled with blue liquid.
That's mouthwash. That is mouthwash. That is not like someone was drinking that. Someone took a bottle and filled it with mouthwash.
And put it in the
It
Casamigos
was a
bottle.
full bottle at the beginning of the night too of tequila. Like my dad had literally brought it for me. He was like, "Happy post Big Tens. Here's some tequila." When Halle said that, like my heart actually broke.
Well, and like our kitchen floor was, someone tried to use a bottle of syrup as a bottle, but it was like still filled with syrup, and so they decided to empty the bottle on our kitchen floor so they could use it as a
so
bottle.
long to clean. Let me just fucking.
No, when we
That
woke up
was
the next
so
morning-
bad.
Waking up the next morning, walking around, it was like
It was so
shit. Also, I just purchased these new ice cream bars. They're Oatly bars. They're gas. I bought 2 boxes. Yeah, they're not cheap. I was so excited to try them. I hadn't gotten to try one yet. And I wake up the next morning and all of them are just on the floor, out of the
not even
freezer.
eaten.
Like these people
Just
rummaged
melted.
through our pantries, our freezer, and just like throwing stuff.
Our showers.
Showers. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. Honestly, though, iconic night. No regrets. The cleanup did take hours, but
No, yeah, like we have a lot of complaints, but also like totally worth it.
Yeah.
that was a good party.
okay, now we're going to move into more of like the Bloomington segment. So we're going to go through our Bloomington favorites, and we'll start with restaurant. Mine is Feta. I love Feta. And Taste of India. One thing that Bloomington is known for is like they have a lot of international restaurants all on like this one street, and Taste of India is so good.
Oh, I think mine is probably Da Vinci, or like the Tap.
Three Amigos Mexican restaurant. I've had like I'll be there violently hungover, or I'll be there ready to have a great night. Like you can go there for it all. It is delicious.
I think we were there one time for maybe about 5 hours. I can recall it so quickly because I think it was one of those like most therapeutic experiences of my life.
Basically, really quick. So one night, so we have a thing for Marg Towers in this house. For some reason, we're obsessed with them. Like, they're so good. You can get them frozen, you can get them iced, you can get every flavor imaginable. Really, only like 5 different flavors. We usually get strawberry, right? Anyway, regardless, it's a big tower filled with margarita, which we would go with 5 people, and it would be a good amount of marg for 5 people. Like, you'd get it, like, leave feeling a strong buzz. So like, you would stand up and you'd be like, whoa. Like, me, Phoebe, and Halle were like, oh my god, like, we want to get a marg tower. Like, let's just go the 3 of us. Like, we can totally handle it. It'll be fine. Like, it'll get us drunk, but not like too drunk. No.
Go out.
No, we were gonna go out after. So we were like, let's just pregame with a marg tower, 3 girls. So we get there and we're drinking the Marg Tower and like we're having a great time, and then like I'm drinking and I'm like, whoa, like I'm really drunk already. And I look up and it's halfway gone. There's still half of the Marg Tower left. I don't know about them, but I was very hammered. So then we're like, what are we going to do? Like, we can't just leave this Marg Tower here. Like, you stay there till it's done. But Halle had a pregame that we needed to be at. So we're like, there's no freaking way. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I wish God could like help us. Like, and then suddenly, like, we just hear like something coming down the road. Like, and then all we see is our teammate Reese. Who, if you knew Reese, you just understand how this is like da 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 da, and like
Reese was like, he didn't even see us, okay? And I look over and he's scootering down, biggest smile on his face, backpack on. I'm like, oh my gosh.
we start screaming. We're like, Reese, like please, and he looks over. He's like, we're like, let's finish this Mark Tower. He floors it. He turns so quickly. He's up the steps before I can even turn around. He's at the table. We're like, you don't even have to pay for it. Just fucking drink it. And he just starts chugging it. And like, it was like a knight in shining armor.
Lauren, what's your favorite restaurant on campus?
Siam House, which is like a Thai restaurant.
So good.
And then also like Da Vinci and Tav.
Yeah.
We go there a lot together.
Da Vinci's like Italian, pasta, pizza, so good. And then the Tap is like a pub, like brewery, like bar food. But they have like really good beer, really good drinks. They do trivia and burgers.
My favorite restaurant is the Arby's on College Mall. I went there for dinner. They're having a deal right now where you can get 2 for $6. So of course I got 2. And I got a little curly fry. Yeah.
We're a big Arby's house here, which I feel like is such a hot take. Like nobody else likes Arby's, but we are obsessed with Arby's. And they always do this deal here on game days. So you get 4 sandwiches for $10. You know we hit that up. Next, favorite bar in Bloomington.
Upstairs.
I really loved Kalao when it was open. I love a good dance party, and they had the best dance parties. We would get so lit up in there, and then they did lose their liquor license. They're no longer open, but I'm waiting for the day when it opens back up, and we'll all hit the town again. Yeah.
There were a lot of underage people in Kalao.
And
us, not us.
Not us.
No.
We would never do something like that.
People there, probably.
That's like actually true.
Definitely. Mine is probably upstairs as well. I've had the best times at upstairs. Obviously, like there's
No cover.
Yeah.
That's so.
Obviously, like I've had great nights at all the other bars, but consistently upstairs hits pretty much every time.
Mine is sports. There's a lot you can do there. A lot of places to go. They also have espresso martinis, which Halle likes to make fun of me for getting at the bar, but those hit.
Okay, no, I respect the espresso martini, but it's just a very interesting thing to get at sports because sports is also my favorite. And the reason I like it is because it's like a big rave. And I'm just like, that just doesn't seem like the place for a little martini glass in like the middle of the dance floor.
Oh, like 6 espresso martinis, and I'm like ready for a night.
You're like, take me to the jungle. No, I love sports as well. That would be my favorite. Okay, favorite coffee shop on campus or in Bloomington.
I like Inkwell.
I like Soma, specifically the razzmatazz.
So good.
Fire. It's good, hot, and cold.
I like this place that's like it's by like College Mall. It's called Needmore. Oh my god, like if you just want like a good coffee, like oh my gosh. I feel like on a Sunday morning when every coffee shop on campus here is so crowded, like that's where you need to go. Like nobody will be there.
I agree. Needmore. It actually tastes like coffee once you get past like the really milky latte phase, and you really just want some espresso. You go there for like legit coffee.
Once you go through your Dunkin' phase with 20 munchkin donuts.
You have to move on from that, you know, and you can't have that anymore.
My favorite coffee shop on campus is Crumble, honestly, just because it's within walking distance from our house and I'm lazy. And so it's just like really convenient. And I like just like taking a little stroll over there. Okay, next favorite. Favorite study spot. Mine would be the IMU, the top floor of the IMU. That's like where I've spent way too many hours of my life.
Ooh, give me the media school.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
I used to go there a lot, like sophomore, junior year, but like a lot of natural light. That's why I like it.
That is nice.
I do like Shul because that's the academic center for athletics. They have like little study rooms, and I love a good whiteboard. Yeah, flex. I'm an athlete.
Are you an athlete?
I am. I'm also a student. Awesome. Student first. Obviously, school is really important.
I guess I was gonna say Shul too, mostly because it's like really, really quiet in there, and some places like are not quiet even if they're supposed to be. And like she said, like you can get like the rooms, and then usually they're not super crowded. Like it's not hard to get a room. Whereas like at Wells, it's like always packed. So I don't like really ever go there because I don't want to have to like dig around looking for a room. But also if I'm not doing like super serious, like I have to like lock in work, I actually like going to Soma, even though sometimes there'll be some really loud people there, but I like getting a coffee, so I just go there mostly for the coffee.
This might be a hot take, but I feel like I like need noise around me to like really focus.
Yes.
Like if I'm like in a really, really silent spot, I feel like it like makes me uncomfortable. But maybe that's a me thing.
So I'm the exact opposite as that. I need complete silence. So my favorite place is the 4th floor on Wells. And
It's a dungeon,
it looks like a jail, and that's why I like it. And I have put in hours there.
True.
I have put in 24-hour weekends there.
Okay. Next is favorite dessert spot. So like ice cream or cookies or any sweet treat. And should we all agree? Okay. Brewster's, 100%. So good. Best ice cream ever. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, now we're going to do a little game, okay? Rapid fire, this or that. Basketball season or football season?
I would say football season because I love the fall.
Basketball season.
Football, just because it's more fun, more to do.
Yeah, tailgating is really fun. Last year, if you would have asked me, I would have said basketball because our team was good. This year, our team was pretty mid. This year, I probably would say football just because tailgates are so fun. FAC or Breakfast Club?
I never attended a FAC. A Friday after class?
Yeah.
So usually Friday after class, I am selling my soul to the track. So I've never been able to attend, but I do love Breakfast Club.
I like Breakfast Club so much. It's just like, what are we all doing here at 6 a.m? Like, it's very confusing, but it's so fun.
Probably Breakfast Club. I've been to FAC and I like it. They have good free burgers, but Breakfast Club is like more, I don't know. It's like a whole day out of it.
Right. It's more of an experience. I agree. I love Breakfast Club. So I'll like explain it briefly. I'm sure you can like get the gist from the name, but basically the doors like open to Kilroy's on Kirkwood, which is like the main bar at IU, really early in the morning. It depends on the day, and like usually they're before like football or basketball games, so like sometimes it depends on what time the game is. But for Little 5, the doors open at 7, and we got there to wait in line at 5. So yeah, like Phoebe said, you're like, what am I doing? What is going on? It doesn't feel real. But then you go in and you get free breakfast, so it's all worth it, I guess. KOK or sports?
Sports, because the jungle.
Sports.
We love sports. $2 Tuesday or Saturday night?
Both different vibes. I'm probably going to go with $2.
I also would prefer $2.
I'd say Saturday night. I don't like going out during the week. The next morning isn't fun.
Yeah, it kind of throws off my vibe going out during the week, so I'm more of a Saturday night girl, but I won't say no to a $2.
During the summer, I love $2 because I don't have to worry about the day after. But during the school year, I'd say Saturday night.
Okay, so that was all for this or that. That was fun. Now we're gonna go into some like IU traditions a little bit. So we already talked about Breakfast Club a little bit and how that's at Kilroy's on Kirkwood, which that's like the main bar at IU. Like if you have heard of IU, like you'll probably hear people talk about Kilroy's. Okay, another IU tradition we've also already mentioned is FAC, Friday after class. A lot of students will go, even though, okay, it's called Friday after class, but I feel like everyone that goes like are people that don't have class on Fridays. So it's not really living up to the name. But it starts at like 4 p.m. and they give free burgers at Kilroy's. Okay, another IU tradition, Sink the Biz, which is a game at Nick's. Maddie, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So basically, Sink the Biz is where you order a bucket of beer, and you can like choose whatever beer you want. You can choose whatever beer you want. I prefer Coors. I don't know if you guys care. But and then you take like a little cup and you go around and take turns pouring like your cup of beer into there and to sink the glass, and then you're trying not to sink it, but whoever does has to chug that little glass of beer. So if you're trying to get drunk, you sink it on purpose, but then eventually you're like, I cannot drink any more beer, and you're like dreading the moment for when that cup like sinks. But it's so fun. Like I love that game.
And then also tailgates are just so fun. Our football team is like so bad every year, but the tailgates are amazing. So most people don't go into the games and they just go to tailgates. Okay. And then another huge IU tradition that actually just happened is Little 500. I'm going to get into Little 500 a little bit more later in the podcast, but to finish with the roommates, I want everyone to go around and say what they're going to miss the most about college and just like living together or like Bloomington in general.
I'm definitely just gonna miss like having everyone in the same space and just like I love like when we're all getting ready. I think that's so fun and we're like blasting music and like taking where everybody get in the kitchen, take a shot, and I'm like curling my lashes and like taking a shot of Pink Whitney or something at the same time. Yeah, like I'm just gonna miss that a lot. Like it's so easy to get everyone together and just like start drinking or start doing whatever. Like I'm gonna miss that the most probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me, it's just gonna be like having somebody to talk to, like probably all the time. Like we'll be sitting here, like all in our rooms, and then like Maddie will be like, "Oh my god!" and then we're all like open our door, like, What happened?" And it's like a whole like 30-minute session.
I agree with Phoebe. Just like the sometimes hours long conversations that are just so fun, very therapeutic.
I agree with all those things, but I think I'm also really gonna miss us all being here in the summers because we like both kind of worked the past 2 summers, and going out in the summer and like the pre-gaming and that stuff was always so fun because like we didn't really have like a lot going on, so everyone could always make it, and I just think those were a lot of fun.
I actually agree with that because I felt like being here in the summer, I talk about this all the time. Like most people don't live here in the summer, like especially if you're in Greek life, like they close the houses in the summer, so like everyone has to go home. And when we all like stay here in the summer, because they like all live here in the summer to like train, and like me and Lauren just like work over the summer, we just like feel like we like run the campus. Like it's so nice because like no one's here, and then we can like all go out together actually because like they're not in season, and it's just like so peaceful. Like the weather is always so nice, and like you don't have to deal with like the crowded bars. Like it's basically just like us and our friends.
You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Bye.
That was really cute. No, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys not only for helping me record this and talk about this amazing place, but also just like keeping me sane these past 2 years, because like you guys are like my support system. Like you're who I cry to, you're who I rant to, you're who like celebrates with me through the victories, and like that's just so special, like to have a group of girls like that. And it just like it makes me sad that like our time together is like almost coming to an end, but just like have to cherish every last little moment. So yeah. Okay. And with that, that concludes the roommate segment of this podcast. Bye. Bye. Hey guys, I'm here with some of my friends. If you watch the Clearwater episode or listen to the Clearwater episode, these are my spring break girls. So you guys can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi. Okay. So my voice is kind of gone. So is my name's Kendall. If you remember from the Clearwater episode, I did find that extra large sand $1. So that's me for some context.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm Ellie, also from the Clearwater episode. Halle and I did our karaoke moment, and her mom was unfortunately not a fan, I don't think. But it's okay. She was not impressed, but I think everybody else at that bar was, so it's fine. Good.
And then I'm Emma.
Perfect. So basically, the reason Kendall's voice is a little gone, actually, I feel like my voice is kind of raspy too. We did have a bender of a weekend because we just finished our last Little 5 weekend. So yeah, how is everybody feeling after this weekend?
So I did go out for 24 hours. So woke up at 4 a.m., went to bed at 4 a.m. But I don't regret a single second of it.
I also wouldn't say that it was just like a bender of a weekend because
It was a bender of a week.
we begin this Little 500 the preparations begin Monday.
Well, really, it like starts quals, which we'll get into. So it's a whole ordeal.
Okay, Ellie, explain to us, for people that aren't familiar with IU and what Little Five is, can you just like give us a synopsis of what exactly Little Five is and like why it's such a big deal?
Of course. So cycling is usually a really big thing in Europe. Like there's the Tour de France, huge. Oh my goodness. Sorry about my voice. The Tour de France and other major bike races, it's a huge European thing. But here in Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, biking, cycling is a huge thing. And it is a race. Women's is 100 laps, men's is 200 laps. And there are, I believe, 33 teams that can qualify, known as quals, which is what I just said. Quals are in March, and the race is in late April. And Greek teams, Greek life teams, and independent teams of usually 4, can be less, race all together, and they do exchanges throughout the race. It's kind of like a relay, but it is a huge thing. Everybody goes crazy for it, and it's a really entertaining race.
Yeah, I feel like if you're listening to this and you like don't know what Little Five is and you hear like, oh, okay, it's a bike race, like that's cute. Like, no, this is like, it's actually intense. Like, I feel like you don't understand it until you actually see it, but the teams that are here like train year round for this race, and it is a huge deal, and the whole campus gets super into it. And there's a reason it's known as like the greatest college weekend in America, because there's so many people that are like super into this race. So Emma, I'll have you tell us what your Little 5 week looked like this year.
Gosh. Okay. Well, my Little 5 weeks started on Tuesday with $2. It was so much fun. Wednesday we were lame. We stayed inside. Okay, I was lame. Wait, yeah.
Kendall, what did you do on Wednesday?
Me and Ellie watched the Breaking Away movie, which is a movie about the Little 500, and we were like, oh, let's just like have a chill night and like drink wine. And something about us is that we can't just drink like one glass of wine, so we both drank a bottle of wine each, and then we walked down to the bars in our pajamas and our slippers. We had water longs, and we did the Wordle and the connections. Like, we were crushing it. We had a great time, always do.
Okay, you're going out on a Tuesday night, you're going out on a Wednesday night, like, which I know isn't like true at a lot of schools, but like people literally go out here like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Because there's like, and Mondays, low key. Karaoke. Yeah, karaoke is on Mondays. But this week especially, like everyone goes out like almost every single day. No, but I was out on Tuesday and like I actually couldn't move. Like this entire week was just actually insane. There were so many people from other schools here. What's like the statistic? They say that like the Bloomington population like triples this week because of Little Five. So. It's like something crazy like that. But okay, we'll go back to the Clearwater episode. So I don't know if you remember when I said that we like met these guys from IU down in Clearwater and then we're like still friends with them. So I personally was not here for this, so I'm going to let you guys tell this story, but explain what happened when you ran into them this weekend and how that night ended.
Okay, we got to the bar, we get a text from them, and they're like, oh, we'll come out. So I was like, great, we'll see you there. Kendall has her thing, like, whenever she goes out to the bar, she does the splits on the patio. It just happens.
I would say that, like, if I've gone out 10 times, 7 out of 10 of those times I've done the splits.
So she does the splits, drops, and everybody's like creating a crowd, like chanting for her.
Yeah, I have a full like dance circle going on.
And then our friend Cam, who like showed up, it was good to see them. You know,
Purdue.
He's just feeling it. He's from Purdue. He came down. And he's like, everybody like, move out of the way, move out of the way. Man goes to do a backflip and lands face first onto like the wood floor, and like his arm is bent, and immediately like we all are like, yay, whoa. He gets up so happy, like, oh my gosh, guys, not feeling a thing, literally blood gushing all down his face. His head hit the floor, and I look at him and I'm like, dude, like, are you in pain? And he's like, oh, I don't feel a thing. I go, you definitely broke your nose, and I'm gonna tell you like right now, like go to the ER. And
Well, in the video, it's so funny because he jumps up, he's looking so good, and then like there's no audio, but you can tell that like someone is like, dude, like your face, and he touches his mouth, and blood is just like all over his hands, and then he's like, oh, and then the video cuts, like immediately, and it's just like, oh no,
So some random girl like from Kilroy's went out and was like, oh, I'm a PA student. Like, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And was like, you're going to the hospital now. And like went with him. And then he ended up getting like 2 breaks in his nose, cut open like his lip, and like chipped some teeth.
that's like, it's not funny, but like, we can all look back now, and like now that he's okay, like it's actually hilarious. And then I like opened up my Instagram today, and it's literally the first video on Barstool, and I was like, Cam, oh my God. So that was the end of Saturday night. So we're kind of like jumping around all over the place, but we talked about Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday, I make it back out. So Thursday is the night that everybody goes to this bar called Sports. Glorified frat party for sure. That's like the best way to explain it. So that's where everybody goes on Thursday. So that's where like we were all going. So I get there at like 11, right when it's like starts to sprinkle, you know? Well, the line is wrapped around the building to get into this bar because, like I said, Little 5 Week crazy. There's just people everywhere. So we're waiting in line for like 20 minutes, and then it just torrentially starts downpouring. So we're all just there's like probably over 100 people in line, and we're all just getting absolutely drenched. And so we finally get in. Like the bouncers are like trying to get people in like as quick as possible because we're all like screaming like, please let us in, like it's raining so hard. And so then we finally get in, and this bar is like already packed. And like obviously, you know, like when you're in a bar, like in a club, and everybody's like so close together and like dancing, like it's gonna get gross, it's gonna get a little sweaty. And then now you have like hundreds of people trying to come in that are sopping wet from the torrential downpour outside. So this was just a recipe for disaster. It was disgusting in there. And like you guys were upstairs, so it might have been better, but like
smelled like a zoo.
Smelled absolutely horrible. And you could not move. Like you could not walk. You get into one place and you are stuck there for the rest of the night because you like actually have no space to move.
Most bars here charge cover to get in. It was
I paid $20.
$20. I heard someone paid $25 later, like
just to get in.
$25
at a college bar.
And you can't move. Why would I pay so much money to just stand there and be absolutely cramped and have a horrible time?
No, immediately I walked in and I was like, why did I just pay $20 to enter this place?
Also, all week long, like I get it, they're trying to like make money and stuff, but for bars, these bars genuinely were taking advantage of us. On $2 on Tuesday, the $2 deals stopped at 8 p.m. I think it was at Roy's. I watched this bartender like pour a drink. It wasn't mine, but it was someone else's. And I was watching it, and the guy looked at the bartender and was like, there's not very much in that. And she said, well, if you want to pay for double, I'll give you more. I was like, that is not even a single. Just fill his cup up a little bit more. Like,
and it's like, some people listening might be like, $20 really isn't that much.
For me, it is.
For a drink. Well, like,
for bottom shelf.
Are you
bottom
kidding?
Shelf alcohol.
For like, it's bottom shelf alcohol. Like, clearly people are getting gypped.
Like, they're also being made by like men that we know, so it's not like they're wearing like suit and ties. It's like Jake from Psychology 101.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean
Yes.
you're gonna charge me for like all these great services you're offering when I just watched you with a Zin outside in your mouth?
And then Friday is the day of the women's race. So this is when like Little 5 specifically gets started, is on Friday with the women's race. So we all go to the women's race. It was great. Shout out Theta won.
Woo.
It was so fun. And then we all went to a frat, which is like so funny because obviously like seniors, when you're 21, like there's not like that much of a reason to go to a frat, but for some reason we were all like, it's Little 5, like let's go just one more time before we graduate, like let's run it back at the frat. So we went to a frat, and it was like, what was your guys' experience? Because that had been the first time that I had been to a frat in like over a year, and it was like weird to me.
I like loved it and hated it, but like was fun and something I don't usually do now that I'm like older than 21.
I honestly felt like it was less packed than the bars, honestly, for some reason. Like, I felt like I had more space to dance, which at the bars, we were just shoulder to shoulder. Whereas, like, at the frat, which weirdly enough,
was more space. Also, when we were going to the frat, me, Halle, and Ellie all hopped on the B bus and rode the B bus down to the frat. And it's so fun because everybody that hopped on were also going to the same exact frat party.
Yeah, it's these buses are like the normal school buses that like go through campus on like Monday through Friday. Like these are the buses that like students like normally get on in the morning to like get dropped off at campus to go to class. And it's just like also the party was beach themed. So it's a bunch of us in like bikinis and like swimsuits and like these like weird party outfits, literally getting, because this is like a Friday afternoon. So like these buses don't usually run on the weekends, but because it's a Friday afternoon, they're like running their normal route as if people would go to class, which like no one was. So we're all on this like normal school bus. And then we just all get dropped off on the other side of campus and everybody just like runs out of this bus to the party. And like the people that are in their cars like are just like, what is going on? Like watching all of us like run out of the bus. They're just like, oh my God, this is insane.
Oh, well, Kendall and I went to the Greek wedding on Tuesday, actually.
Yes.
And we forgot to talk about that. But basically, a Greek wedding is where like we get paired up with the frat and then they pick one bride and then the frats pick one groom. And it's so fun because you get to see everybody and like you give actual what are they called? Vows and stuff. And like the bridesmaids give speeches and then the man of honor, or no, best man, sorry. The best man also gives a speech, but the speeches are more like roast, honestly. Mm-hmm. So it's just really fun and entertaining to see. And then after we went to the reception, which was just kind of like a regular frat party, honestly, and it was so fun.
Yeah, I was the bride last year for a fraternity.
Oh my god.
I like got roped into that 24 hours beforehand.
And what was your experience as the Greek wedding bride?
You know,
oh wait, you need to tell this story. This is so bad.
Okay. Oh, give me my
I totally forgot.
So like I was talking to someone like a year ago before this and like we were good friends but like just totally went different directions and like stayed just casual friends. I was like, perfect. And then they were like, oh, well, you should become the bride. It'd be funny because, like, you could roast him well. So I was like, sure, I'll be the bride. Like, this will be fun. I go and do it. And, like, we get married. It's fun. It lasted for probably, like, an hour. Then we signed the divorce papers because I just, like, could not be a wife to this man. Like, no. But then, like, one of my bridesmaids, you know, just had a little fun and ended up,
got a little too drunk at her best friend's wedding.
Yeah. And went home with my groom. And in my dress. And I found out about it the next day.
And that is just not what you want at your own wedding.
Yeah, like exactly. Like
Rude.
I was like, oh. I mean, I know we were divorced, but like come on. Like
you couldn't even wait 24 hours.
Right? Like the divorce papers weren't filed fully for another 48. So there was processing to happen. But yeah, I mean, it was quite fun. And
hopefully your next wedding goes better.
Right, same, me too.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Greek wedding. And then we'll talk about the start of Saturday. So Saturday morning before the men's Little 5 race, every year they have what we call breakfast club, which we talked about earlier. 5:15 in the morning is when we arrived at the bar. And there were lines of people like down the block, all waiting to get in. The doors don't open till 7, but like part of the experience is that you kind of like wait in line and like hang out with your friends. So that's how our Little 5 started, bright and early. And then we go to the guys race at 2, and it was crazy, super exciting. Their sorority was paired with the bike team that finished second, so that was like third. Oh, sorry, third. My bad. So that was like exciting because they were like really good, obviously. So that like made it really fun. Okay, yeah. So that was a long story of our week, but it was action packed, and we had to go out with a bang because it's obviously our last Little 5 ever, which is so depressing, but it's fine. I think we did it right. I think we did everything we could have. So yeah, we lived it up all week. We've like talked a little bit about Greek life already, but I like am not in Greek life at IU. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring these guys on is because they're all in a sorority. And so I kind of want to get their take on Greek life here just because it is like a huge part of like the culture at IU. It's like a huge Greek campus. So I'm going to like pick their brains a little bit about it just in case, like, I don't know. I feel like also like maybe if anybody's listening that is like about to go into college or like considering IU, there's like a lot of stuff that I wish I would have known, like that I know now.
So at IU, our school does this weird like tier system thing. The school is very strict about like parties and stuff. So you can't just like be anyone and walk into like a frat party. Like you have to be on like a list of even if you're a girl, you can't just like walk into a frat party. They like your name has to be down on a list of someone that is like guest listed at the party.
Personally, I've walked into every single frat here, so I can't say that is like majority is true, but
you can get in, but you also like by doing that you run the risk of like having like a really embarrassing interaction where like you like have to turn around and walk away and
never
like,
been rejected. Well, so they created this system because of a safety issue, so that they wanted to make sure everybody knew each other, that there's sobers there. However, in doing so, it just created the tier system where now it's a little bit
it's like very toxic
yeah.
and like the culture around like the tier system and like, oh, like what house are you in? Oh, like there's like a lot of like weirdness that comes about from this whole setup.
Yeah. And like when you're going through recruitment, like us three recruited during like COVID. So like this tier system's in place and you're hearing about it from other people, but like you don't really know like the vibe of a chapter until you like experience it. So like half the stuff that they say is usually false. And it's just like it's hard and messy and it makes recruitment hard.
And like people go into recruitment knowing about the tier system and then it's like, well, of course, obviously I only want to be in the top, like whatever.
And then also like on TikTok, it was IU recruitment dropping was trending and people were like, I didn't know IU had a big Greek life because it's all about Alabama. It's all about Southern chapters, but dropping was trending so much and it's because of the tier system. These girls come in wanting to get these top houses and they don't get those top houses back, and so they're like, I'm dropping, no one wanted me. It's not true. IU's rules, actually, I don't know if it is now, but for us, you're guaranteed to get a chapter and it's just chapters that people want.
It was only if you made it to preference round though.
That's true. That's true.
Guaranteed one of the two houses that you get.
That's true. Yes.
Talking a little bit about the Alabama rush though, IU actually, we have the most amount of chapters. So we have 22 chapters, which is the most that any other school has, I think. And
we have the biggest Greek row in America, I think, is like what I heard when I came in.
Yeah. So like when people hear that Greek life is huge here, it really is. But compared to Alabama, why you might hear more about it is because they accept a lot more people, but not everybody lives in the house. Whereas here, majority of the people live in the house. It's probably required to live in for 2 years. And so that's why it's a little bit more exclusive to try getting into these. And that's why there's a higher dropping rate. It's because not all of these girls can live in these houses. So for my recruitment process, the three of us, we were during COVID time. And so I came into IU not wanting to join Greek at all. That was not what I was wanting. This was not who I was. I just really did think it was like the movies, honestly. That's all I knew from experience. I didn't have any friends that I knew coming here. So I didn't have that experience of people like being able to tell me about the chapters, about sorority life here and stuff. So I seriously did have zero information going into recruitment. Even when I was doing the recruitment stage, because ours was just virtual, so it was during Zoom, I was just like, okay, if I get in one, I'll probably just drop. Truthfully, I was aiming for the unhoused houses. Those were the ones that I wanted and stuff, because this just wasn't for me. I was so negative the whole time. And looking back on my experience, it was by far the best thing that I've ever done. So I always recommend, if you're even slightly interested in joining, just to try it out, because you never know if this is something that you really want to do. And genuinely, like, the people that I've met were like the best people, obviously, because I live with them.
So like they said, I came in like the year after them. I filled out the very first paper of the application their year. And then I was like looking at it and it was like 100 pages of things that I had to do. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. If you do choose to like take the path that like I took where like you go through recruitment sophomore year, like it is kind of nerve-wracking because you're joining with a lot of freshmen. But if you want to go through it as a sophomore, it's like it is a little bit harder, especially at IU. Like only a few houses take sophomores. So like it is harder that way, but like you're going to end up where you're supposed to be, obviously.
Okay, let's shift a little bit to frat guys. Do you guys think that the frat guy stereotype holds true?
Yes. Yes and no. Like it kind of depends on like the house, and like I also just feel like it holds true because these men are immature. Like
Yeah.
they need to grow up and like seeing the real world. And like I lived in Chicago this past summer and I just like saw how people are supposed to act, and I'm like, that is not college
Wait,
men.
this is like what a man should act
right?
like?
They
What?
should have like, I don't know. Like I just think they live in a house together. They don't care. Like our friends, some of our guy friends, like their houses right now are dumps, but they're like all gonna move, and when they move they're like, yeah, our future like house and apartment is not going to look like this.
always say that.
But they say
We'll
that and like,
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll see.
We'll
like
see.
the fact you didn't have toilet paper like in the bathroom, what am I supposed to use?
That's
Yeah.
concerning.
Also like with like recruitment and stuff. So sorority recruitment is like a 2.5 week long like process, and you're like buying dresses,
Very
clothes,
formal.
getting your hair done, your nails done, spray tans, like you're looking incredible, like your people are spending a lot of money for this. Like I'm sure you've seen like the TikToks. For fraternity recruitment, it's like, do you want to come play basketball after class today? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. See you there. And then it's like, oh, hey, wait, actually, do you want to come like join the brotherhood? And then from that point, like that's like they do some like crazy stuff, as like everybody knows, but just like the chillaxedness of it kind of leads to the frat man stereotype.
Okay, well, speaking of frat guys, do you guys have any crazy like frat guy experiences or like crazy date stories?
Sent to me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know. Sophomore year, Emma used to go on a lot of dates, and like I would just get the tea from a lot of these guys. And
I
like,
love that at least you were like being taken out on dates though.
yeah, I
like-
kind of like mandated it. I was like, I'd meet you at a fraternity party, we dance, we have a good time, but like,
Yeah,
these
like
lips
you
aren't
want to hang out with
kissing.
me, take me
Yeah.
on a date.
Yeah.
Exactly, as you should.
I think the funniest thing is when you go to like parties with them, like our year compared to like the frat parties now, like when we had them, it would just be like our sorority and the frat, not like so many other fraternities and sororities guest listed.
Yeah.
So you like got really close like with the men, and like we went to one fraternity, I swear, like every week. So I just became like really good friends with them. But like some of those guys, I don't know, like just I feel like everybody's mingling around at these parties. Each week is like a whole new chapter of your life. Like
Oh
you
my
might be talking to a
gosh.
girl one week, but like you have a totally new girl at the next party, or like 2 hours later. Like,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
just,
Like, you're married one minute, you're with the bridesmaid the next.
right, exactly,
So-
exactly. And like you can like watch the parties, like especially when we'd have to sober these parties, like I would watch like on the elevated surface and just watch like a man get rejected and then go to like the next girl, and I'm like, she's in our sorority, they're best friends. Like little do you
Oh,
know they're
yeah.
gonna talk about this
What do you
later.
think?
Like,
Yeah, they're living together.
Right?
Do you
Like-
not think that the word is going to get around that
Yeah.
you're talking to the best friend? Like, that's so
Oh.
funny. Any, like, well, I feel like you kind of did give advice, but like, any other words of wisdom for like new sorority members navigating frat boys?
Okay, maybe just like know that these frat men are hungry and they want attention, and like just because they like you one night doesn't mean they're gonna date you or like want to take you out. Like you talk to them when they're sober.
This is just kind of like an overall, like not necessarily with like frat men, but like if you're like about to go to like your first frat party, I know it's really hard, but like don't embarrass yourself. Like if there is a pole in the middle of the dance floor, that is there for structural support in the building. It is not there for you to swing around on, like fight the
Mind
urge.
that you're gonna be seeing these people like every single week for the rest of your college experience, so you're gonna create a lasting impression. So just keep that in mind. One question I had on here is, what frat is the best or most fun in your opinion? Do we want to throw out names?
Okay, yes, I can answer this. I love this place junior year, and like junior year I was 21, so like it like for me to
She
go to a
didn't have to
frat,
be
like,
there, yeah.
I did not have to be there, but like SAE like has my heart.
Okay.
And like their parties just so fun. They had like
I've never been, but I've heard so many good things.
they had like a high tent, so like you don't feel like you're like being crowded.
Okay.
But their like risers are so high, and their music, like that DJ needs to be at Coachella. Like I loved him. I was
Yeah.
vibing.
No, so I made it a goal my junior year to try going to every single frat on campus. I've hit every single one except for maybe 2, honestly. And I can also agree, SAE was by far the best. But the funniest part, though, was so speaking of the tent, they would have the pledges standing up. They would hold the plastic tarp thing to cover it. And let me tell you, this was a huge tarp. So they had probably like 10, 15 pledges with their heads outside. They were holding it this way. So their heads were out in the weather. It would be dripping rain and they would be getting rained on, but we would be fine because we were underneath this tent. And they were standing up on these huge bleachers or like huge elevated surfaces. Like it was a wall. It wasn't an elevated
like 4
surface.
levels, I felt like.
Why couldn't they just get like poles?
Because they
Like just to make their lives miserable?
and
That's hilarious.
they have like a little like patio deck that's like elevated, and that was
Okay.
always part of the party. So like,
Oh,
if
and
they
the
put a
tent couldn't like
it
get
had
over
to
it.
go like even higher.
I see.
Which I think is what made it fun because you felt like you were in like arena.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Okay, well, SAE, they take the
Hopefully they
gold
still
prize.
have good parties to this day. 'Cause
Yeah.
change is quick.
That's so funny. Okay, we're gonna shift gears a little bit to like maybe a less exciting topic. We've gotten all the tea out, but we're gonna talk a little bit about Kelley, the School of Business here, because that's like something that IU's really known for. It like draws a lot of people to the school. But I am just like curious what your guys' experience with Kelley was. Like both of them are also out of state. Like Emma's from Ohio and Bree's actually from Hawaii. And like Bree came to IU like for the business school. Like that's how she like heard about it. So I'm curious like what your thoughts are now that you're like about to graduate. Was it like worth it? Do you feel like the school deserves like the respect that it gets?
Oh yeah, like I definitely do. So I'm a marketing major, and when I first like started my classes, like they were like I could tell they were at like a level of like okay, seriousness and like this is like a professional like business school. But like as I've gotten more into them, like my professors, like the backgrounds that they have, like it shows, and like what they're teaching me is like actually like applicable to like the real world. It's not just like finance 101. It's like okay, how can we actually like use this in any career at all? Because like I'm a marketing major. I don't really want to do with finances, but my experience at Kelley has been awesome. And like there is like the stereotype of like a Kelley boner being like this dedicated, like work hard, you know, like business student, which is like true. And like there is a lot of competition within the school itself. But I think like some points of that competition are good because it just keeps pushing all of us more and more. And like I know personally, like if I want to get my master's, like I'd probably like consider like Kelley's program. So
Yeah, I also have to agree. I think Kelley was a really great experience. Honestly, I am studying finance and real estate. Let me tell you, some of the finance classes that I'm in are so hard. But when I tell them that I have like this experience in some of the classes that I've been doing to potential job or employers, they really do like that I have that experience, that Excel background and stuff. And so it does make it stand out a bit more. And a lot of companies do know Kelley because it's really highly ranked. A lot of our friends are working on Wall Street next year. They're getting these high paying jobs that I would only hear of like from movies. Like if you're thinking Wolf of Wall Street, some of these people are living Wolf of Wall Street lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like that's straight out of graduation. This is the lifestyle they're going to be living. And it's really crazy to actually be able to know these people and have these connections. So I felt for me, it was more about the connection base and networking because I know a lot of these people are going places.
And also too, like all of our friends like aren't staying in like the Indiana area for business. Like they're either going to New York, some are going to California. Like we're spread out, which is like
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Like it's something that I wanted. I wanted like the most amount of opportunities to like explore where I could go and not just be like at a business school where then I'm going to stay in that town.
Yeah.
Kendall and I are not in Kelley, but it was so funny because Emma just did a pitch at a competition and I don't go into Kelley very often and I'm just like, I'm scared. I don't know
No,
where I am.
Yes, so true. And like randomly when I was in Orgo, we would have all of our exams were always in like Hodge Hall, which is like where the Kelley School of Business is. And I like hated going in there. Like for some reason I just felt like so out of place, and like everyone, all Kelley students like all have their classes together in that same building, which I feel like is different for like other majors. Like things are way more spread out around campus. And so like walking in there, I was like, I feel like people know I don't belong here. Like nobody's ever seen me in here before. Like they know I'm an outsider. Like it's so funny. So
I'll just say I'm a psychology major and I'm minoring in counseling and sociology, and the psych program here is also like super amazing and prestigious. Everything is like, but I mean, really some of the most supportive professors ever. They helped me for my grad school interview. They are really there for you if you're like, I need an extension, I need a mental health day. They're so understandable. Yeah.
I also want to mention that I use a huge research school. So if you're like wanting to go into the research side of things, like if you're wanting to do like the psychology, like the research side of psychology, there's so many opportunities. I'm a bio major, so I'm with a lot of like pre-med students, and a lot of pre-med students, like you need research experience a lot of times if you're like wanting to get into a good school. And there's so many opportunities to do that here, which I know is like more rare like a lot of other places. So that's like another big plus.
Yeah. One last thing I'll say is that like obviously talking about our Little Five experience, like we did go crazy, and like just in general, like IU is kind of known as, I don't know, a party school, especially in like the state of Indiana. People are like, you know, especially versus IU and Purdue, people think that IU is just kind of like
the dumb school.
Yeah, the dumb school. But it's like we have a nationally ranked business school. Like a lot of the programs here are amazing. Yes.
EDS, Bio,
Jacobs.
Like all of our programs are like up there.
Yeah. But it just shows that like, I mean, you can work hard and play hard. Like it's a really good balance of like you can still get great grades and work and succeed, but also have a college experience of kind of like what you see in the movies. So that's what I'm like grateful for, of getting a good education, but also like having
I feel like
time
we
to
had
have
a
fun.
very well-rounded college experience here, which I'm like really thankful for. So, okay, one last closing thing that we're going to do is I want everyone to go around and say what they're going to miss most about college after they graduate. I know.
Kendall and I cried in the bathroom
I like
last
actually
night.
just got like chills saying that because I'm like, I'm literally going to get emotional. But yeah, I've been like feeling very like pensive about this lately, and like reminiscing through like the past 4 years and just like what I'm gonna miss and like what I'm most thankful for. So Emma, you can start.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're gonna cry and it's gonna make me cry.
Oh my god, Kendall, stop. Kendall's crying.
I'm like so gonna miss the people, and like I like have like worked for one of like the startup programs here, and like I go into work and I start my day, and like I see my like 3 go-to people, and they say hi to me and we talk and have like a little chit chat, and then I go to my class, talk with my people, and like I don't know, that routine of just like seeing these faces and having them like get to know who I am, and also like getting to know their story and just like being that support system for each other. Like literally we could walk out the side street and like go to our neighbors, and I know like I could just have a full-on conversation with anyone here.
Right.
So I'm just gonna like miss the people aspect and the convenience of having like all my best friends so close.
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
We were crying last night in the bathroom, Kendall and I.
Sobbing.
But we went into a full sob. But gosh, I mean, the people I've met have just been amazing. I've had like some of the best experiences, but I will admit, like I definitely had some of my very low moments were here as well. But like that's just gonna happen, and you got to be ready for that. But like the person I've grown into from like learning from others, and just like also my classes, and like I don't know, I could not be more grateful. I remember my brother was like, you're gonna have the best time, like it's the best time of your life. And you know, it's not for everybody, but I can fully say like this has been the best 4 years, and I've done it with like the most amazing people by my side. Like all these girls here have like played such a prominent role in my life, so, and will continue to play that. So it's been a joy to live close because Halle lives
Yeah.
like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm just a short walk away.
Yes, just to have lived this amazing time with these amazing women.
Oh, that was so cute. I do like also want to touch on that though, because like I feel like going into college, everyone does tell you like, oh my God, it's going to be the best 4 years of your life. And like personally for me, like I know our freshman year was a little screwed up because of COVID, but like it took me a long time to transition into college and like making all new friends. You're living in a completely different place and like there's so many changes happening at once. And like that was one thing that I like, if I could like go back and tell my freshman year self, like it would be to just like be patient and like give yourself time to like find your group, find your people. Like don't feel like you show up on the first day and feel like you need to like instantly have a million friends and be having the greatest time ever because everybody told you that you need to be having the best time ever. Like it's okay. Like you're gonna go through hard times, but like I feel like that's why college is also like such a big period of growth for like everyone, is that you have like some of the highest highs but also some of the lowest lows, and like you go through those like with your closest friends.
For me, I'm really going to miss everything. I don't think there's a single thing that I'm not going to miss. I think it's probably hardest for me only because I'm going to be leaving. Oh my God, now I'm going to cry. Oh God. Okay. Whew. Sorry, breathing through it. I'm going to be leaving and I'm going back to Hawaii. So I'm not going to see these people like on a day-to-day basis. Like these girls just make me really sentimental because like I'm just going to miss them a lot.
I'm coming to grad school here next year. And I'm excited. Like I'm happy that I'll be in like around and like it's a familiar campus and everything. But like I am so sad to be here without them. I'm so embarrassed.
No, do not be embarrassed. No, I feel like this is just like a sentiment to like how close we all are. Like we've spent like every single day together for the past 4 years, and then it's like, I don't know, people always say like your friends, like friends come and go in your life, but there's like no other time in your life that like all of your friends go at once.
Yeah.
And like that's
I
what
want these
makes
friends
it.
to stay, please.
Yeah. And I feel like that is like what makes it so emotional, is like your support system like literally is just like stripped out from under you like all at once, and like you're just expected to move on with your life.
Anyways, we love it here.
Yeah, so true. Love it there in Bloomington. There you go. Okay, well on that like sad and depressing note, sorry to end it like that, but yeah, that was like a lot longer than I expected, but I like literally loved every minute. So thank you guys so much for helping me out with this, and hopefully to anyone listening you got something out of that. Maybe if you're like us and went to IU, you could like reminisce a little bit, or if you're in the college search right now, like maybe that was helpful to like think about things that you wouldn't have thought about before. So yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you guys.
Okay, and that's our Bloomington episode. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a longer one, but there was a lot of good stuff that Halle felt like she wanted to share, and all her friends wanted to share too. So we hope you guys enjoyed it and didn't get too sentimental for all you IU grads out there, or any college graduates, honestly, if this made you feel a little bit emotional.
Yeah, this episode was super fun to record, so hopefully it was just as fun to listen to. It was kind of a great wrap up to my college experience with my friends, and super sentimental, as you guys could tell from listening to it. But next up is graduation, and then I'm going to be a college grad.
Getting real.
It's getting really real quick, so...
As a graduation present for Halle, leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars. Follow us on all our platforms. We will love you forever. Stay tuned for our season finale next week, and we will see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and happy graduation.
Bye!